Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another exciting journey into the world of rare Australian coins. Today, we are going to uncover the mystery, the beauty, and the hidden fortune behind one of the most fascinating pieces of Australian currency history, the 1969 Australian 20-cent coin without mint mark. Now, you might be wondering, what makes this coin so special? At first glance, it looks just like any other 20-cent piece you may have come across in your pocket change. But trust me, once you know the history and rarity behind it, you will understand why collectors and investors from around the world consider this coin a true hidden treasure. The story of the 1969 20-cent coin begins in the late 1960s, when Australia was still adjusting to decimal currency, which had only been introduced in 1966. During this period, the Royal Australian Mint produced millions of 20-cent coins, but the 1969 release was different. It carried no mint mark, making it harder to identify its minting location, and over the years it became a coin that collectors chased for its scarcity and uniqueness. This coin features the iconic platypus design created by the talented artist Stuart Devlin. On the obverse, it carries the portrait of Queen Elizabeth II, designed by Arnold Machin, a portrait that many coin collectors around the world instantly recognize. But while the design might look common, what sets the 1969 issue apart is its limited survival rate in high-quality condition. You see, most of the coins from this year entered heavy circulation. Australians use these coins in shops, in banks, and in everyday transactions. That means that today, finding a coin from 1969 in excellent, mint-state condition is an incredibly rare achievement. And that rarity translates directly into real monetary value. Collectors are always searching for coins that not only have historical importance, but also remain preserved in superb condition. And this is where the 1969 20-cent coin shines. In circulated condition, it may already fetch a premium over face value, but in uncirculated, pristine quality, the numbers become truly exciting. This is where the value begins to climb. Depending on condition, collectors have paid hundreds of dollars, and in some cases, pristine examples graded by professional services can push into the thousands of dollars. Imagine holding a small piece of silver-colored copper nickel in your hand and realizing it could be worth $7,000, or even more in the right marketplace. Now, why would someone pay that much? The answer is simple: demand. Coin collectors are passionate, and when a coin has both historical appeal and scarcity, the competition grows fierce. Auctions often see bidding wars, and private collectors are always willing to pay top dollar to secure the very best examples of the 1969 20-cent coin. Ladies and gentlemen, think of this coin as more than just change. It is a ticket into a world of heritage and fortune. Each coin tells a story of Australia's economic past, of the era when decimalisation was still fresh, and of how a simple coin could evolve into a rare collectible masterpiece. Many people don't realise that a coin sitting in an old drawer, or resting inside a family jar of forgotten change, could be the exact one that collectors are desperately searching for. That's why it is so important to check your coins, because the treasure might already be in your home. Sealed, protected, and graded coins always command the maximum price. If you truly want to unlock the coin's full potential, submitting it for professional grading is a powerful move. This gives confidence to buyers that your coin is genuine and preserved, and that can easily double or triple the final price it sells for. Imagine yourself placing this coin into an auction, watching the bids climb higher and higher, as collectors compete to own this gem from 1969. The thrill of knowing you started with just a 20-cent coin and ended with thousands of dollars in profit is what makes this hobby so addictive and rewarding. So, is the 1969 Australian 20-cent coin really valuable? Absolutely yes. While many coins exist in low-grade circulated condition, it is those shining, almost untouched coins that break records and reach sky-high prices. And with time, the value of this coin is only going to increase as fewer high-quality examples remain available on the open market. Think about it this way: coins are like time capsules. The 1969 20-cent coin carries within it a snapshot of Australia's culture, economy, and artistry from over half a century ago. And just like fine wine or classic art, the rarer it becomes, the more people are willing to pay. If you own one, treat it with care, protect it, and hold on to it like the treasure it is. And if you come across one in your change, consider yourself unbelievably lucky. Because what may appear like an ordinary coin could very well be your key to unlocking thousands of dollars. Collectors are watching, investors are waiting, and the market for rare Australian coins is only getting stronger. The 1969 20-cent piece, without mint mark, is living proof that everyday coins can transform into extraordinary treasures. So remember, ladies and gentlemen, always keep your eyes open, always check your coins, and never underestimate the hidden power of pocket change. Because the coin you hold in your hand today could be worth a fortune tomorrow. And in the case of the 1969 Australian 20-cent coin, that fortune could mean thousands of dollars in your bank account. Next up, the 1970 Australian 20-cent coin without mint mark, a piece of currency that has captured the imagination of collectors and investors around the world. At first glance, this coin may appear to be an ordinary 20-cent piece. But once you learn its history, scarcity, and the prices collectors are willing to pay, you will never look at your spare change the same way again. This coin is not just metal, it is a gateway to potential fortune. The year 1970 was a monumental period for Australia. Only 4 years after decimalisation, Australians were still adjusting to their new system of money. The 20-cent coin, with its bold platypus design by Stuart Devlin, had already become a national symbol. But the coins minted in 1970 without mint marks hold a special place in numismatic history. Unlike later issues where mint marks were sometimes used to identify the production facility, the 1970 issue has no mint mark. That makes it unique and easily distinguishable for collectors who prize originality and scarcity. The absence of a mint mark gives this coin a simple, clean authenticity that collectors adore. Most of these coins entered circulation immediately after minting, meaning they were used heavily in shops, banks, and markets. They were never treated as anything special back then. Because of this, finding a 1970 Australian 20-cent coin in high-grade condition is extremely rare today. Ladies and gentlemen, rarity always translates into value. Collectors crave coins that survived the decades in pristine form, free of scratches, dents, and circulation wear. And the 1970 no mint mark 20-cent piece is exactly that kind of treasure. Now let's talk about its value. In ordinary circulated condition, the coin may already be worth more than face value to keen collectors. But when we step into the world of uncirculated and proof-like examples, the story changes dramatically. Coins preserved in perfect condition can fetch hundreds of dollars, and the highest graded specimens have been known to sell for over $1,500 and even approach $2,000 in rare cases. Think about it. Something that was originally just 20 cents could now return you thousands of dollars. That's the kind of leap that excites coin collectors and inspires people to start checking their old jars of change. And what about the future? Well, the supply of untouched 1970 20-cent coins is shrinking. Every year, collectors lock them away into private collections, never to return to the market. That means the coins that remain available will only become more desirable. Experts believe that in the next decade, we could easily see these coins pushing past $2,500 or even $3,000 for the very finest examples. It's not just about money either. This coin carries with it the story of a nation, a moment in history, and the artistry of Stuart Devlin. His platypus design gave the 20-cent coin an identity that was instantly recognizable and distinctly Australian. To own this coin is to hold a piece of Australian heritage. Imagine walking into an auction room, placing your coin on the table, and watching as bidders compete to own it. The price climbs higher and higher, and suddenly what was once forgotten in a drawer is now commanding thousands of dollars in the spotlight. That is the power of the 1970 Australian 20-cent coin. Many people underestimate the treasures they already have. Somewhere right now, sitting in a family tin or hidden in an old wallet, there could be a 1970 20-cent coin waiting to be discovered. If you are lucky enough to find one, consider yourself blessed, because you are holding a coin that could change your fortune. To maximize its value, sealing and grading are essential. Professional grading not only protects the coin, but also verifies its authenticity and condition. Collectors trust graded coins, and that trust converts directly into higher sale prices. It is worth noting that while circulated coins are valuable, it is the mint state examples that truly command the market. These coins are the ones that cross the $4,000 mark and beyond. And in the right auction, under the right circumstances, a bidding war could push the price even higher. Think of this coin like a time capsule. It represents 1970 Australia, a time of change, growth, and transition. Every mark, every shine, and every detail on this coin tells a story. And those stories, preserved in metal, are what collectors are willing to pay so dearly for. Ladies and gentlemen, never underestimate the power of old currency. What may seem ordinary could actually be extraordinary. The 1970 Australian 20-cent coin, without mint mark, is living proof of that truth. It is not just a coin, it is an investment. It is not just money, it is history. And as the years pass, its value will only continue to climb, making it one of the smartest collectibles you can own today. So next time you check your change, or open that forgotten drawer in your home, remember this story. Because the coin you find could be worth hundreds, even thousands of dollars. And if it happens to be a 1970 Australian 20-cent coin without mint mark, then you have struck gold in the world of numismatics. In the end, this coin is not just about wealth, but about discovery, legacy, and pride. A simple 20-cent piece from 1970 can transform your perspective, and maybe even your financial future. Next up, the 1981 Australian 20-cent coin without mint mark, a coin that has grown into a collector's dream and continues to attract attention in auctions and private sales across the world. The 1981 20-cent coin might appear to be just another piece of change, but behind its design lies a story of rarity, demand, and untapped fortune. It was struck at a time when Australia was expanding its decimal coinage system, and millions of coins were required to keep up with economic growth and everyday trade. This particular year is unique because the 20-cent coins of 1981 were produced both in Australia and overseas. Some were struck at the Royal Australian Mint, while others were contracted to foreign mints like the Royal Mint in Wales and the Royal Canadian Mint to meet production needs. The coins struck without any mint mark are instantly recognizable and highly desired. Featuring the distinctive platypus design by Stuart Devlin, the coin captures the creativity and artistry of Australia's decimal era. On the obverse side, Queen Elizabeth II's portrait by Arnold Machin shows the elegance and authority of the monarch, creating a balance between tradition and national identity. Now, you may ask, why is this coin so valuable today? The answer lies in scarcity and survival. While millions were produced, the majority entered circulation and suffered years of heavy use. That means that finding examples in pristine, uncirculated condition is increasingly difficult. And rarity in numismatics always translates directly into higher prices. Collectors today are always looking for that perfect 1981 20-cent coin with no mint mark. They want coins with strong details, smooth surfaces, and minimal wear. These are the kinds of coins that command top dollar when they appear on the market. So how many people want to buy it? The answer is simple: thousands of collectors across Australia and beyond. This coin has international demand, with numismatists in Europe, the United States, and Asia adding it to their collections of Commonwealth and decimal coinage. Online marketplaces and auctions prove this every time one of these coins goes up for sale, as bidding quickly heats up. The current value of the 1981 20-cent coin, without mint mark, can range widely depending on condition. Circulated examples might already sell for a premium, but uncirculated pieces can fetch hundreds of dollars. High-grade examples certified by professional grading services can reach prices of $2,200, $3,500, and in some cases have pushed toward $4,000 at major auctions. Think about it for a moment. A coin worth just 20 cents in 1981 has transformed into an asset that could earn you thousands of dollars today. That's an increase that very few investments can rival. And the beauty of it is, you might already have one in your collection without even realizing it. Is the value high or low? Ladies and gentlemen, the truth is that it is already high compared to face value, but its true potential is only beginning to be realized. As the years go by, more of these coins are locked away in collections or damaged beyond recovery, leaving fewer in pristine condition for the market. That shrinking supply means values will continue to rise. Looking forward, experts believe that in the next decade, the 1981 no-mint mark 20-cent coin could easily climb into the $4,500 to $5,000 range for the finest examples. That makes it not only a collectible, but also a smart investment. Imagine the thrill of placing this coin into an auction, watching bidders from across the globe push the price higher and higher, until it sells for a figure that could change your financial outlook. That is the magic of rare coins like the 1981 Australian 20-cent piece. The history behind this coin is also important. It was struck at a time when Australia was not only growing economically, but also expanding its presence on the world stage. Decimal coinage was still relatively new, and every issue reflected the nation's identity and creativity. This coin, without mint mark, became a symbol of Australia's confidence in its new money system. Ladies and gentlemen, this is more than just a coin. It is a time capsule, a collector's prize, and an investment opportunity rolled into one. It represents the artistry of Stuart Devlin, the authority of Queen Elizabeth II, and the strength of a nation during a time of economic progress. So, if you find a 1981 Australian 20-cent coin without mint mark, protect it. Place it in a holder, keep it safe, and if possible, have it graded. Because its maximum value will only be achieved if it is preserved in the best condition possible. And if you already own one, you should feel proud. You are holding a piece of history that thousands of collectors desire, and that will only become more valuable as time passes. The demand is real, the buyers are ready, and the opportunities are endless. What was once just a small coin in someone's pocket has grown into a treasure that could put thousands of dollars into your account. So remember, ladies and gentlemen, always check your coins, because the fortune you are looking for might be hiding in plain sight. The 1981 Australian 20-cent coin, without mint mark, is a shining reminder that even the smallest things can carry the greatest value. Next up, the 1982 Australian 20-cent coin without mint mark, a coin that has earned its place among the most desirable pieces of modern Australian currency. When you first look at it, this coin may seem like a simple everyday piece of change. But as history proves, the most valuable treasures often hide in plain sight. The 1982 20-cent coin tells a story of national growth, artistry, and rarity, and its demand among collectors has only continued to increase over the years. The story of this coin begins in 1982, a year of economic and cultural strength for Australia. Decimalisation was still fresh in people's memories, but the system was well established by this time. Coins were not just money, they were artistic symbols of the nation. The 20-cent coin, designed by Stuart Devlin, proudly featured the platypus, one of Australia's most iconic animals. On the other side, the regal portrait of Queen Elizabeth II by Arnold Machin represented Australia's ties to the Commonwealth. The 1982 issue is especially important because it was produced without a mint mark. That means collectors identify it as an original, untampered issue that speaks to its authenticity and rarity. While millions were made for circulation, the majority were heavily used, which means today finding them in perfect condition is far harder than you might imagine. So, why is it valuable? The answer lies in condition and demand. Collectors today are hungry for coins that have survived decades without scratches, dents, or circulation wear. And the 1982 no mint mark 20-cent coin, when discovered in pristine uncirculated condition, can command very high prices. Currently, circulated examples might already fetch well above face value, but the real excitement begins when we talk about uncirculated and professionally graded coins. These can bring in hundreds of dollars. High-grade examples have sold for as much as $2,500 and, in exceptional cases, close to $3,000. Now imagine what the future holds. Experts believe that as more of these coins are locked away in collections and fewer appear on the open market, prices will continue to climb. In the next decade, the highest quality examples could easily push toward $3,600 or even $3,900. That's a remarkable journey for a coin that started out worth just 20 cents. The big question many of you may ask is, where can you buy and sell this coin? The answer is reassuring. Collectors and investors can purchase 1982 Australian 20-cent coins from major auction houses, trusted online coin dealers, and collector fairs. Many international platforms like eBay and specialized numismatic websites also list them for sale. When it comes to selling, you have several options. If you want maximum exposure and high competition, auctions are the way to go. This is where bidding wars can drive prices to exciting levels. If you prefer a quicker sale, private collectors and online dealers are always interested in acquiring these coins, especially if they are sealed or graded. Should you keep it or not? The answer is absolutely yes. Holding on to a 1982 Australian 20-cent coin without mint mark, especially in mint condition, is like owning a small piece of fortune. The longer you keep it preserved, the more valuable it becomes. And here is the secret to unlocking its full potential: sealing and grading. If your coin is placed in a protective case and graded by a professional service, its authenticity and condition are guaranteed. This instantly increases trust among buyers and can multiply the value at auction or private sale. Ladies and gentlemen, this coin is not only money, but also history. It represents Australia's growth in the early 1980s, the artistry of Stuart Devlin, and the legacy of Queen Elizabeth II's reign. It is a time capsule that carries within it stories of an era that shaped modern Australia. Imagine the excitement of discovering one in your collection, sending it for grading, and then placing it into an auction where buyers from all over the world are eager to outbid each other. The price climbs higher and higher, and suddenly that simple 20-cent coin is worth thousands of dollars. That is the power of this treasure. Some people underestimate coins like this, but collectors know the truth. They understand that every year fewer examples remain in top condition, and that makes each surviving coin more and more valuable. That is why buyers are waiting, sellers are preparing, and the market is alive with energy. If you find a 1982 20-cent coin without mint mark, treasure it. Do not spend it. Do not leave it sitting loose in a drawer. Protect it, seal it, and give it the respect it deserves, because this coin is not just change, it is wealth in disguise. The motivation here is simple. Ordinary people often overlook the extraordinary. But those who recognize the value of coins like this one can change their financial future. A coin you thought was worth almost nothing could be the very coin that gives you $5,000 or more. So the decision is clear. Keep it, protect it, and let time do the rest. Because the 1982 Australian 20-cent coin, without mint mark, is destined to grow in value. And those who own it today will be rewarded tomorrow. Ladies and gentlemen, never forget the power of coins. They are history, art, and money combined into one. And in the case of the 1982 20-cent coin, that combination could bring you fortune beyond expectation. This is more than just a coin. It is an opportunity. It is a treasure. And it could be your key to unlocking wealth from the past, right into your future.